What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And as enthusiastic as I may sound right this moment, the market took a huge dump coming into Sunday night futures. Yeah, they opened up down. This morning we gapped down quite a bit. As you can see here on the SPX, let me go ahead and take the studies off of here so you can see that actually a little bit clearer. But the nice thing is we bounced off the monthly support. Yes, we are down to the 20 on the monthly. But being said, there is a lot of bad news going on. The new variant is starting to lock down stuff. I talked about this a couple weeks ago when it first came out, when we first got that panic. And I said it wouldn't be an issue until we started locking down. Now, over the weekend, we had Norway locked down. There was a couple other places that were locked down as well. And leading into Tuesday, the White House came out and said that Biden will be speaking regarding the variant on Tuesday. Along with that came out the news that the mandate that originally was getting delayed came out and said that it was apparently perfectly fine. So the mandate is being pushed back to normal again. The market also, it's got a lot going on. I think the digestion of last week with Powell as well, and understanding that they're trying to push 3 rate raises is mind-blowing, considering they originally only talked about 1 rate raise late next year. Again, on my behalf, when I first heard the news on Wednesday, it was very surprising that the market took off the way it did. But over the overnight session suggested that everybody understood what was going on, that there was a lot more rate raises than expected. And so the market essentially got crushed on Thursday and Friday. As you can see here, we pretty much just sold off Thursday, Friday. We attempted to come back, and then today we sold even more. This might be even more digestion of the possibly 3 different rate raises. This also leads to the essentially the conclusion that all the data regarding jobs is going to be highly sensitive now, because that's going to determine what the Fed is going to do next. So being said, the volatility just does not want to go away. The Christmas rally is definitely seen the Grinch, that is for sure. But being said, this market is very confusing at the moment. It is not. Every pump is pretty much sold off. Nobody trusts the market at this moment, and reasonably so, because every little pop we've been getting, especially even going into Powell itself, it's just been sold off. No pump is essentially held. But we are still holding the zone. Ultimately, I'm kind of watching this whole area down here. Wouldn't be surprised if we actually sold back down to the 4,500 mark here. It's kind of what I'm looking at. As long as it doesn't break there, I think we're perfectly fine. There's just, again, a lot of policy. Yes, we know there's going to be rate raises and the data and everything, but if we go on lockdown, which I believe there was another news press that came out that said the U.S. would not be on lockdown because of the vaccines that we have would be able to combat that. But I've also heard mixed messages that the Pfizer vaccine is not effective against the new variant, but I guess Moderna is, from what I gather. So there's a lot of mixed signals. The market doesn't know. In general, even you and I may interpret it one way, the market's going to interpret it a different way. And so you have to let the digestion go and see what it does. Even being said, it is very extremely rough waters because of everything that is going on. So it's best to almost even stay out of the market. You get that first initial move, which is normally a fake out, and then it goes opposite way. And then the market will typically bottom around midday, and then it will make its last move typically up. So we've been normally selling in the morning, turning around and popping. I know even this morning I was watching for some selling. I was looking for a bounce to short, and it didn't even hardly bounce. It barely bounced and then just started selling. It hit bottom, attempted to pop, then dropped again, attempted to pop again, and now over after market hours, it's looking at it's ready to drop. So we have to see how it's going to be overnight. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, Bitcoin again is doing really well. It's still holding. Like I said, I wanted to hold it on this 46K mark. As long as it held that, I think we'd be perfectly fine. It's still doing that with causing inflation. I don't think Bitcoin is going down any further, even though it possibly still could. But ultimately, in my opinion, I'm really waiting to see what this does. I think we're still good. I think it could still pop back fairly quickly. Just kind of just letting everything digest. I don't think there's nothing else in the pipeline that is going to really affect anything. Everybody kind of knows what's going on now. It's just a matter of when it's about ready to happen. It is the end of the new year too, and so you gotta also remember there is a strong possibility that if there is a tax increase next year, that people will start taking a lot of profit this year with the massive runs that we've had this year. The corrections, again, were very diluted. So a lot of people might be taking profit going into early next year. So you got to remember that low volume. And typically the rally is around this time. It goes into, it's typically after Christmas is what I've seen. It's never really during the month of December. December, normally there's a lot of chop going on, essentially because policy and everything that's going on. And then what happens is then you get into these weeks. You get into the holiday weeks in which there are low volumes. So you don't really see a lot of moves. I do expect, I think the market will get to a point where it starts digesting, and then it'll possibly start making a move going possibly maybe in the end of this week. More likely, I think it will start next week because we got a full week, even though New Year's is on Saturday. I think we got a full New Year's Eve is on Saturday. So we have a full week to play out. So I think that week, next week, we'll probably start seeing the volume pick up and start pushing from that point. Until then, it's just surviving till then, just letting these pump and dumps go. It helps save your sanity and try to figure out what's going on with the market. The market doesn't know certainty. And again, the variant is throwing a lot of different concerns, especially around supply chain. So going into tomorrow, what I am looking at, I got a couple here down. Obviously, there's FANG. If you're going with FANG, I would highly suggest Googl is a big one. It's been rallying out of all of them. It's essentially been Amazon and Google and Tesla that are the ones that rally very well during times like this. Google attempted many times, even though you can see it's been chopping. So even one of the best companies, no matter what happens, through any like volatility, Google is always one of the better ones because it bounces right back, just like Tesla. But with Elon selling for Tesla, it's been a little bit more difficult because it continues to sell off a little bit. But Google, again, even Google is struggling to get back up. There's a lot of struggle. You can see the candles themselves, the wicks, just for it to push up is extremely hard. So Google is a big one I'm watching. Amazon is another big one. The big concern about Amazon is you got a lot of overhead resistance now, where Google is that same way, but it's typically been buttering through all that stuff, where Amazon definitely has a struggle. As you can see, there's kind of a wedge developing here for tomorrow. So that might actually break out, something to watch tomorrow. Tesla also has a huge wedge. It has multiple different wedges going on here. A big one I really like is a really tight wedge here. I wouldn't actually be surprised if this gaps up tomorrow and starts to run. You have to be careful, though, and not chase, because this market is flipping very fast. And that is what the cause of concern is to stay with the big FANG stocks, or to stay with ones that have been really beaten down. I mean, most of these have already been beaten down, but FANG is definitely faking people out and destroying accounts over the past month, I can tell you that. But there's a couple other ones I wanted to look at that are a little different. I do have them here, but I don't typically bring them up. I do like you. And the reason I'm bringing these up, because on the monthly, a lot of these are starting, if I throw the studies back on here, a lot of these are starting to hit supports on the monthly. Maybe not this particular one. I think this one was more on the daily. On the daily, it's holding that support. So I'm kind of looking for the wedge break here on the daily for you. If we start doing at-home plays, you, I think, would be a fantastic one to play. Again, you're going to have a little bit of overhead resistance. You got to watch the 20 and the 50, but once it gets over that, that should be clear sailing from that point. So definitely keep you on watch. Another one I have on here is Plug. And this one's really been beaten down. I mean, it'd be great if we get down to the 25 mark, but I'm starting to look at I was looking at the weekly. Weekly is okay. It still needs to come down a little bit more, but the monthly, if you look at the monthly, it's actually sitting right on support. So this could be really good for play tomorrow. I got a couple of different ones. Charge point is another one. It's hitting support as well. It's hitting the 50. And something I've always talked about, once you hit the 50, you can see there's going to be an attempt to try to retag the 20 on the daily. And typically that's when you want to get out because either it's going to get rejected hard and start to keep selling, or it will break out, typically sell before it hits that point and then re-enter if it does break above is the best way to play it. Revolve is the other one I have. This one's getting interesting. It's getting really close to the monthly here at essentially around that 49 mark. If you can capture that 49 mark, keep a tight stop. Revolve could be another good one. F-Cell is another one I'm starting to like, only because of the fact that it's holding support here. It's been holding support here for a while, so it's been holding that 6. As long as it can hold the 6, especially with Plug, I think a lot of these different ones are starting to do well. Energy-wise, you can possibly see energy pop back up. Again, looking for possibly that 755. Just watch for that overhead resistance, because now we're going to start seeing a lot of that in a lot of these moving forward. Hubs is the other one I really like. Kind of looking for that base around here, about 620. On the weekly, we still got a little bit of room, but on the daily, it looks really good. You're hitting daily support. This is one I do want to play tomorrow. Looking for that 646, possibly revisiting that 715, I think is what I'm looking at. So this is a big one I want to keep on watch tomorrow. I think can really do well. These aren't ones I have on my core list, but I don't typically trade them unless Big Fang is struggling hard, and it's been doing that lately. So these are the ones I really want to keep on watch for tomorrow. But that's pretty much what I got. Just be very vigilant. Again, you don't have to trade. Cash is a position, and this market recently has just been a hot mess. So it's better just to leave it alone for the most part. So if you have made it this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.